All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. This is from RTNews.com. All right, it says here, health dictatorship, French citizens who refuse C19 jab may be banned from public transport under Green Passport Plan. Okay, and lately the talk that's been on the news is dealing with this whole new strain. All right, and what's going on in London. All right, certain of these other nations basically blocking off. All right, London and other parts, blocking their borders with them in order to prevent the spread of this new strain. Right, this new variant. Now they're saying now that basically it's sort of like a repeat of Wuhan. All right, where it is too late. It's the new variant is already in different locations. All right, and there was a clip of Governor Cuomo. All right, basically saying that new variant is on a plane on its way to JFK. Basically speaking as to how people already have it and they're more than likely already here. Okay, now I want to deal with this one specifically here, going into the restrictions and the, I guess you could say, the sanctions or penalties for those who refuse, all right, to take this potion. All right, here I just got a breaking news. It says second more trans more transmissible strain of C19 detected in UK, thought to be from South Africa. Health Secretary Matt Hancock says. Oh, so now the big bad boogeyman is from Wuhan, and now it's Africa. Okay. Anyway, it says French citizens who decline to take the C19 vaccine will be barred from public transportation, among other places, under a controversial Green Passport plan set out in a draft law that's now on its way to Parliament. All right, now understand that this is something that it's a gradual thing. Okay, it's a gradual thing, and what it looks like is phase one. All right, is introduce the new concept of lockdowns and restrictions, and basically desensitizing the people's minds. That's when you had that first wave. Phase two is to push for harder lockdowns. Okay, which is what we're seeing going on right now, aka the second wave. And they knew that in order to do that, they need a heavier sense of fear that they could cause. So why not use a new strain? All right. So it says here. So if you in New York, you here in the U.S., don't be surprised if they bring. What they're gonna start doing is they're gonna start basically introducing those kinds of lockdowns that you see going on in New Zealand and UK and London and so on and so forth. All right, as they're starting to do here now. See, originally we saw this in I think Birmingham and other European countries dealing with uh, um, basically not allowing people of different households, to be in the same house, as they call it, to mix. All right, that was over there, and we told you it would come here, and that's what you're seeing here now. All right, they're saying no, don't reduce mixing as best as possible, especially dealing with these holidays, so on and so forth. Now they're anticipating that over the holidays is when there's going to be a lot of movement, you know. So don't be surprised if come January, the lockdowns get tighter and more strict, based on number one, Christmas and Thanksgiving traveling, and number two, the basically the effect of all that traveling, including a new strain. All right. So if they say you can't get on the MTA, you can't get on the Metro North, you can't get on the Jersey Transit, whatever the case may be. Hey, well, the Greyhound, all these. Hey, well, prepare for that, because those are all public transportation. You know, so if they tell you, nah, man, unless you have proof that you've taken a vaccine, and they're not gonna do it right now. They're gonna do it at a time when because they're doing it in phases now. They're getting the quote unquote essential personnel, then the teachers and those out the way. When it gets to the public, all right, the average individual citizen, then they start making a push for you. That's when they're gonna start hitting you with these things. Because right now, people can make the claim that, Well, I don't have access to it because right now it's only for the emergency personnel. All right. But nonetheless, this is what's coming. So you can expect that. Okay. So it says, gaining the support of Prime Minister Jean Castex cabinet earlier this week, um, or Jean, it says the bill proposes to deny access to transport or to some locations, all right, as well as certain activities to those unable to prove that they received a preventative treatment for C19, including a potion or produce a negative virus screening. And soon they're gonna do away with the negative virus screening as they make their push. It says that the draft bill has been harshly denounced by members of the opposition, with the spokesman on the right-wing National Rally Party, Sebastian Chenu, accusing the government of planning a health dictatorship. The rally, RN, it says RN head Marine Le Pen, meanwhile, blasted the proposed measure as essentially totalitarian. Now, while they do this, all right, there's something called controlled opposition. They play both sides to give the people somebody to support. Because if the people feel like both sides are their enemies, then they're more susceptible to revolt. But if they feel like one side is fighting for them at least, okay, then they have somewhere to support. But then it seems like, oh, this side got, basically shut down and over triumphed by the other side. No, controlled opposition, man. All right. Nonetheless, in order to support their case of trying to draft this bill, all they got to do is increase the propaganda. Okay, you may pitch an idea and they may say no, that's too much, but then you tell them, you back it up by saying, well, given the circumstances, it's not too much. What's too much is if we don't do this idea, thousands more people are gonna die, so on and so forth, and then the numbers go up, and then boom, you have your formula. All right. But understand that these lockdowns are not going to stay the same. They're going to be different and they're going to increase each time. All right. They're going to get more and more strict, more and more draconian each time. All right. Because as the atmosphere and the scene, the situation changes and it gets more dire, these laws and these bills and so on and so forth are going to get stricter, using the dire situation as their justification. It says, in a backhanded way, this bill does not aim to make potions mandatory, but will prevent anybody who doesn't comply from having a social life. It's the same thing. All right. Direct mandation, indirect mandation. All right. Mandation, mandatory, whatever. Okay. You either get it or we're not going to let you live life if you don't have it. Same thing. All right. Different approach to get the same outcome. All right. So it says the center right Republicans Party, LR, also condemned the bill, with Deputy Leader Julame Peltier saying it was inconceivable that officials will get all the power to suspend our freedoms without parliamentary control. A member of President Emmanuel Macron, La République en Marche party, Amélie de Montat, yo man, these Alamy, we're gonna go with that, shot back at the critics, insisting the hot button bill is not at all made to create exceptional powers for the government or establish an authoritarian health state. See, so once again, it's a back and forth, but ultimately they all know what the plan is. All right. So it says here that the draft law is headed for a vote in the government as the government prepares to roll out mass vaccine drive on Sunday. See, they're moving fast. Okay. And then you got this madness over here. What the hell is this? Come on, man. Only in Babylon. Only in Babylon, man. Anyway, I should say only while Babylon rules. It says while the European Union approved an immunization development by Pfizer and BioNTech this week, opinion polls suggest French citizens remain deeply skeptical about the new jab, and that's okay for now, because guess what? As they crack down on what they call conspiracy theories, okay, and they start to make having a social life very difficult. You see, during the first lockdown, everything was shut down, and then they told you to stay home. Fine. It's easy to stay home when you can't go anywhere because everything is shut down. When they open things back up, but you're not allowed to go, you're prohibited because you don't have this vaccine. See, now it's not as easy to say I don't want to take it or I'm still skeptical. You may be skeptical, but how far will you go before you break? You know, where you can literally see these things open, these things that you want to do that have been taken away from you for so long. You know, that haven't been the same. The movie theaters, the Broad Show, all Broad Street, all whatever theaters, basketball games, bars, pubs, work. They're gonna be open. See, they're gonna be open. See, it's like school being closed. All right, and so everybody's excused, as opposed to school being open, but you can't come to school because you're missing a certain requirement. See, at that point, you're gonna get penalized because you're gonna be missing your days at school. You're not gonna be excused any longer. So when it comes to work, situations like that, guess what? At first, okay, the store was closed. Now the store is open. It's up now. They say the decision is in your hand. Because you're refusing to take this jab, so it's up to you. Okay, your penalization is depending on you. Your lack of enjoyment of these things that are open back up is based on you. That's how they want to do it, man. They forced you. All right, they basically shut off all your options. Then they said the ball's in your court. The ball's in your court, but there ain't no hoop, there ain't no net. All right, you got the ball. You know what I'm saying? So it says several recent surveys showed more than 50% of respondents saying they had no intention of taking the vaccine, which could present obstacles for the government's goal to inoculate 15 million people by June. So now what do? They start pushing. All right. Once again, the boogeyman was originally the Crown Royale. All right. Then it became the race. All right, to get vaccine, and now it's people who are standing in the way. All right, of herd immunity. All right. It says the measures contained in the new bill mirror a recent Supreme Court ruling in Brazil. There we go. Pretty sure y'all heard about that, which laid the ground for similar restrictions on those refusing the jab, insisting it would be unconstitutional to require citizens to take the jab. The court nonetheless determined that sanctions could be imposed on those who don't have the jab, including prohibiting them from certain public places. Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro, who vocally opposed the ruling, suggested it could see citizens placed under house arrest. Okay? Once again, you don't have to, but this is what will happen if you don't. Hey, man, it's like the law. All right? It's like the law. You don't have to stop at a red light because you can run the red light if you want, but you won't run the red light because there's a law against it. If you run the red light, there's going to be punishments for it. All right? They don't make it in the sense where your car literally can't move at a red light. You have the freedom to run the red light. But just know that if you run the red light, your choice to run the red light is going to result in your ass, ending up in some trouble. All right? You go and you steal, you rob a bank, guess what? They're not going to tie your hands up and say that, hey, the second you think about robbing a bank, you're frozen and you're paralyzed. Nah, you could go. You can make the decision. You're free to do that. But just know there's going to be consequences for that. And because of those consequences, you end up not robbing the bank. So either way, they get, the outcome they want. That's what they're doing here. Oh, we're not going to force you to take it. But if you don't take it, this is what's going to happen. Same thing. We're not going to force you to not run the red. But if you do run the red, this is what happens. So based on those consequences, you end up not doing it, or you end up going and taking it. All right. So it says Israel has also signaled that it will introduce a green passport system under which citizens will receive a card after their first jab, allowing them to enter places that will still be restricted to other populations. And that is the key right there. That is what hurts people. All right. Everybody else is able to do it, but you can't, Then all of a sudden, your religious or your philosophical, all those personal views on it start to change. You hearing your friends, yo, bro, it was mad lit. Yo, there was this. Yo, there was that. They gave us this, but you can't go. Your friends hitting you up, yo, let's go here. Oh, no, I can't. Why? Oh, I don't have the jab. Then they hey, it's gonna and a lot of people are gonna break, man. They're gonna break not because not because they think that it's safe to take, but because they can't take the pressure. They can't take the restrictions anymore. All right, they can't take having to not being allowed on public transportation, not being able to go to these grocery stores, you know, being stuck in your house all day. And as it gets more and more draconian, they're gonna start coming after people who don't have it. They're gonna start rounding them up, saying that they're a danger to society. Anyway, it says the government is still working out the kinks in the plan. However, with the country's health minister deeming it a difficult logistical operation. Notice how they're adopting it worldwide. If one country does it and it seems plausible, other countries follow suit, and then that's another step closer to the chip. All right, so that's how they're moving, man. Okay, now dealing with this whole transportation thing you have, and we always bring this out. This is Second Ezra chapter, I believe it's 17 actually. Let's see. All right, chapter 15, verse 17. It says, "A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able." All right, and that's what we see going on. All right, here it is. Your only means of transportation may be public transportation, but you might not be able to. Okay, man. This is Revelation 2:10. It says, "Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life." So hey, if we do have to get thrown in prison, all right, or concentration camp or whatever, man, stand firm for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. All right, but with that, I hope you were edified. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Makakodash. Until next time, Shalom.